Yes and no. It's more complicated than that because of right and wrong, yin and yang, up and down, male and female. It's more complicated because it tends to happen culturally and in society that for men in general, this is a big generalization, but it's relatively true. Men's strength is their weakness, and women's weakness is their strength. Strength. Sila. Yeah. Think about it. Men's strength is their weakness, and women's weakness is their strength. So, what's a classic man? The alpha male. What is the dominant characteristic of the alpha male? Well, it's strength, and then strength mixed with intelligence, but strength. And you can be mentally strong as well as physically strong. You have to be. And so, what drives the alpha male character is their strength. What they project is their strength. Their lifestyle is built around their strength. Think about people who play dangerous sports, the hockey players, the rugby players. It's built around their strength, their alpha male characteristics. It's funny that socially we have people like the actress Emma Watson, who was in the Harry Potter films, giving speeches about how men need to be more empathetic and more generous and more kind and more caring towards women and more equal and more balanced in society. And her boyfriend is a rugby player. Right? So it's funny, right? Talking about all this kindness and empathy. Anyway, so the dominant male characteristic is strength. And that is a problem because of human ego. Because of human ego. It's a problem. Because the ego takes control of your personality. And you think that your strength is what makes you you. But it's not. And the classic example of an understanding of this is the woman says to the man, "Oh, you're so big and so muscular and so strong." Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. "Oh, you're so good at this." They play to the ego, right? And that's the man's weakness. Belief in his own strength is what makes him strong, but it's also what makes you weak as well. The wall that you build around your home keeps people out, but it keeps you in. So it's a strength and a weakness at the same time. And so men's strength is their weakness, because anything that attacks their strength makes them very, very weak. Unless you're a beta male, which is funny, but there you go. So women's, on the other side, women's weakness is their strength. What's the classic male ego? It's as a protector. What do you protect? You protect people who need protection. What is the need for protection? It's a weakness. It's having a weakness. You're weak. So men play to their ego, which is their strength characteristic, as something which is positive and dominant. And women play to their weakness. "Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I'm not strong enough. I'm just a woman. This is not fair. I'm weaker. I don't have the same possibilities. I don't have the same opportunities." It's all psychological, but that's how it works. If you look at how the reactions play out, the big box, right? The women are like, "Oh, could you lift it for me?" And the men, "Oh, yeah, of course," right? That's the way it works. And subconsciously, women and men know this. Women know that if they ask for help, they will receive help. And women know this more than men. Because women are in general more intelligent than men. Because where men use their strength, women use their intellect. More of this is less of this, in general. Right? You look at all these men doing all these dangerous jobs. Okay, so they're men doing dangerous jobs. Is it intelligent? Question mark, right? So, in general, women are slightly more, I would say, emotionally intelligent than men. And they understand that, and men don't. Because the women know that if they play a game that focuses on the male having a dominant role in using their strength, that the men will be comfortable with that. So they play the role of, Disney. Look at the Disney films. It's the girls are like, "Oh man, save me! Somebody save me!" And the hero comes charging in. In the past, this was a man on a horse, a white knight on a horse, and a lot of problems for men. Not all problems, but if I look at some of my friends, they are 30 to 35 years old. They're not in a relationship, and they have problems forming relationships, and they don't understand why, and because they're good men. Well, I can tell them why. Because they're playing the role of the white knight. They're trying to save everybody. And the girls that they meet are playing the role of the girl who wants to be saved. And it's all role play. And they don't quite understand that it's better if you don't charge around and run around like a white knight trying to save everybody. Because it's absolutely impossible. And at the end of the day, the last piece left on the board, the chessboard, is the king. All the other pieces are sacrificed. Your bishops, your knights, your rooks, your queens. They all get sacrificed. They all get lost in the confusion and madness and violence of things. So the idea of weakness is complex. It's complicated because it can be that strength is a weakness. Because if you know where a person is strong, then you know where to play the ego game. The same way as if you know someone likes something. What do we do at Christmas? We try to buy presents for people that they like. What is that? Well, that's the shadow ego game. You're trying to keep the shadow ego of the other person happy so that it doesn't manifest and make problems for you. You're trying to repress it so that everything stays the way that it is. And people don't see that. They look at things very simply. Like, oh, this is this and this is this. It's not. It's more complicated than that. The iron sharpens iron. You have to fight people better than yourself to rise to the next level. And pain is part of the challenge. Pain is part of the challenge. Without pain, we don't grow. So, and we don't learn. And sometimes, even with pain, we don't learn. And people tend to think that the aim is to avoid pain and to not have pain. No, pain is kind of the great message of the universe to remind you of things that are important. Like when like when a friend dies, right? It's a really painful experience. Yeah, and it's to remind you of the importance of this relationship, and so I think that there's two other things. Look at two other things that come to mind. 25% of the American population, the American adult population, take an opioid drug to kill pain. 25%. That's 1 in every 4 people. The greatest painkiller that's used on planet Earth is alcohol. Alcohol in small amounts is medicinal because it's essentially a poison. But in large amounts, it takes another form of medication where it functions as a painkiller. It disconnects you from what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. That's why you go to the club and drink and dance and forget your problems, or people do that in the town on a Friday evening. They go to town and try to forget what's happening. So I remember sitting in my office and my student like dying like in front of my eyes, little bit by little bit every week. Fucking frightening watching it. It was fucking horrible. That affected me. That's one of the reasons why I moved my business online and closed my school. Because I was like, this is horrible. It is. I mean, it's time. Time is the one thing that we can't get back, right? And that's why I'm here this morning, because there won't be another morning like this morning, right? We can try to move. And sometimes I cancelled one meeting last night because I couldn't speak, and I was trying to talk, and I was spitting blood on my computer, which is like, it was like a zombie movie. Yeah, it was